Well, hi and welcome. In this video we're going to be looking at a new addition to the pen tool stable, and it's called the Curvature Pen Tool, and it is amazing. So what we sat around here talking about it for, let's have a look at how it works. My name's Ken Fisher and this is Live Link Training. Now, many Photoshop users, they really struggle and shy away from the pen tool. There is a bit of a steep learning curve to get to a point of confidence using it, but to be able to create accurate, scalable vector selections is a valuable skill to master. Now, Adobe found a solution on Photoshop CC 2018 and released the Curvature Pen Tool, which allows you to click to add points, and then Photoshop uses them points to draw your path. Now, as you would expect, the name Curvature Pen Tool, it draws curves, but it'll also draw straight lines and corner points. And it's easy to switch between curved and straight lines and vice versa. Then when our path's complete, it's easy to convert our path to outlines, to selections and to masks. So even beginners can now make complex path outlines in Photoshop. Now I'm going to start by creating a new Photoshop document. Now if you're in the Start workspace, then you can just click the Create New button. But if you're like me, you've actually got an image open, then you can just go up to File and hit New. And then I'm going to create a document that's 1500 pixels by 1500 pixels. Leave the resolution at 300, and I just need to make sure that my background colour is white. And then I'm going to click Create. And that gives me a nice square background to work on. And to make it a little bit easier for me, I'm going to put some guides on it. I'm going to create a new guide layout. So I'm going to go to the View menu and I'm going to go down to New Guide Layout. Now the default one that's put in is this one that's got some gutters in. This space between these guides is called the gutter. And it's 8. Well, I'd like my columns to be 6. And I'd like to have the same number of rows, so I'll have 6 rows. And I'll take my gutter down to 0 because I don't want them crisscrossy looks. So I'll take the gutter on both the column and the rows to 0. And then if you've any existing guides that you need to clear, you can just put a little tick in here and it'll clear all them out before it starts with this. So that looks good. So I'll click OK to that. Now first off the bat, I'm going to select the Curvature Pen Tool and I'm going to select it from the toolbar. And it's down here and it's stacked with the regular pen tool. Now by default, the pen tool will be showing in the toolbox. And what you've got to do is click and hold down on the pen tool and then select the third one down is the Curvature Pen Tool. And it's also got a keyboard shortcut of P. And next thing just to make sure is that we're going to be drawing a path. And we can do that once we've got the Curvature Pen Tool selected. Up here in the Tool Options bar, we've got a choice. I can choose Shape and I can choose Path. And pixels are grayed out, but I just want to choose Path because that's what I want to make. Now to start our path off, we need to define a start point. Now you'll see the cursor at this point has a little asterisk next to it. And this is the start cursor and it's telling you that it's ready to start a path. And when you click, you're going to lay down a point and then that asterisk will disappear. Now I'm going to click where this bottom guide meets the center one. And once I've clicked, I've laid down a point. You can see it's a little square point, but that's called an anchor point. And you'll see also that the little asterisk has disappeared. So this is now my cursor in progress, if you like. And now I'll add a second anchor point and I'll click where the vertical guide on the left and the horizontal guide in the middle meet. Somewhere like that. And I'll click again. And you'll see something odd. It draws a straight line. And this is called a path segment between the points. Now this is because drawing a curve needs 3 points. A start point, an end point and a middle point, which is going to determine the curvature. Next I'm going to add my third point. So I'm going to go up here to this intersection at the top and I'm just going to click once on there and you'll see I've got now a curved point. Now this point, because this was a straight point, it's brought it up as a corner, and I want to change that to a curve, so I'm just going to hover my mouse right over it and double click, and that turns it to what's called a smooth point or a curve point. Now depending on the colour of the background, it may not be easy to see the path. Now we can adjust both the colour and the thickness of the path by clicking the gear icon up here in the tool options bar. And here you can see I've got my thickness set for 3, but you can change it down to 1, well, basically from a half a pixel up to 3 pixels. And I've selected red as my colour, so it's now we can see it. And then I'm just going to click up in this top area just to close that gear wheel section down. Next I'm going to add some more points. I'm going to add a point over here, and I'll just click once. And again we've got that because we're continuing round with this curvature. And then to close the path, I'm going to hover over the point where I started until I see that little 0 up here, that little O, and that means I'm right over the start point. And then if I click, whoops, I missed it. Okay, so we'll go to edit and undo, and then I'll click on that start point again. This mouse is not playing very good with me. There we go. So we've now completed a complete circle with basically 4 clicks. Well, alright, 6 clicks, but I did 2 of them wrong. Now here we have our circle, and we can see we've completed the path. And you'll see also that my cursor, my little pen cursor, has another asterisk next to it, which means I'm ready to start another path or add some more points. Now I can add points anywhere by just hovering over anywhere on the path, and you'll see you'll get a little plus sign appear next to the cursor, and this means if you click you're going to add a point here. So that's what I'll do. I'll click to add a point there, and then I can move the point, so I can click and drag it in, and at the moment it's a smooth point. So I'll add one over here, and then I'll drag that one in. And you can see how we can easily now very quickly deform that path to fit what we want it to fit. Now so far we've added a lot of curve points, and this means that the path outline curves as it passes through the point. There's going to be times when you want a sharp transition and not a curve. Now to do this you can change the shape of a path by converting a curve point to a corner point. And you can do this with a simple double click. So if I want to change this one to a corner point from a curve point, I've got to get right over it and double click. And it's now got a sharp transition. So I'll try this one, double click on that one, and I'll double click on that one. And let's try at the bottom. We'll double click on that one, and on that one, and on that one. And changing between these points is as easy as that. So if I want again to change this point from a corner point, and I'll just show you what that does. I mean, this is a very angled, there's no curve there at all. But if I want to change that back to a curve point, I just hover over it and double click, and I'm back to a curve point again. Now how do we delete an anchor point? Well, for that you've got to make sure that that's the point that you've got selected. Now at the moment this is the selected point, this filled in one. These other ones, these empty little boxes, these corner points, they're not selected. So let's say I want to delete this top point, then I can click on it to actually select it, and you'll see that that deselects this other one. And then I'm just going to press the backspace if you're on a Windows machine, or the delete key if you're on a Mac machine, and that deletes that point. Now if you want to delete an entire path, what you've got to do is just right click inside the window, and then we've got delete path, and there it was, gone. And I'm now back to my empty document and my guides. Okay, now although it is called the Curvature Pen Tool, it can draw straight lines. And so what we're going to do, we'll go down to the bottom here, we'll say let's start here, and we'll double click to define a corner point. We'll move up to this top point and we'll double click there, and we'll now get a straight line segment between them. we'll come across to this point and we'll double click, and then down here to double click, and then we'll take it back over. And when I get that 0 again, oops, it's a bit buggy this. Okay, I'm going to double click to turn that back into square points and corner points. Now if I want to point on this top section here, I can just double click and that will give me a corner point, and I can double click here to give me another corner point and drag them out like that. But now let's say I don't like these corner points top and bottom. I think I'm going to try, I'd like more of an arch. No problem, I just go right over that point and double click and it turns that back to a smooth point, and I'll double click and it turns that back to a smooth point. How easy is that? If you've ever tried working with the pen tool and you've failed, have a go with this tool. It is so easy. Now at the moment we've moved one anchor point at a time. What happens if we want to move more than one at a time? Well, for that we need the direct selection tool, and this is the white arrow, and it's just here in the toolbox, and we've got the path selection tool and the direct selection tool, and you can select it by just pressing the A key on the keyboard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a marquee across these top 3 points. So I'll start up here and I'll marquee drag across these and let go. And I've now got 3 points selected. So now if I go and click on this top point, I can drag and extend. And if I wanted to, I could slant it, but I'll just extend it for the moment to just make it a little bit taller. Well, now we've learned how to use the Curvature Pen Tool. Exactly how do we apply it in practice? Well, that we're going to do in the very next video, so get some practice in. You need to be able to add anchor points, both smooth and corner, to be able to change smooth points to corner points and corner points to smooth points by double clicking on them. I really hope you found this video useful. If you did, please check out my Facebook page, LiveLink Training, and give me a like. Check out my YouTube channel, LiveLink Training, and give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment under the video. I've got close to 400 videos just waiting for you to watch. I'll see you in the very next video. Bye for now.